Hashtag Marc Stuart Medium is hashtag the Scottish Medium.
Everybody, want to join me for an opening prayer? Dear Father, Mother, Spirit, thank you very much for bringing us all together. Thank you for a quick uptake so we could all catch up on what's going on. Thank you for the laughter that we've had. Thank you for the levels of exposure. Thank you for me having the video recorder working. Apart from that, please put a protective circle around us during this circle. Help us to open the door to the other side. And please let us build up some energy that we can send as healing at the end of this circle. Thank you. Amen. Okay, everybody. So if you want to make yourselves comfortable, listen to my voice. Feel your chair. In your head, just picture clear white sheet of paper, seeing nothing but that sheet of paper. And take a deep breath. Hold to the count of 3 and exhale. And take another deep breath. And this time, get rid of all the thoughts, all the distractions. Just get rid of the whole day as you breathe out. And take a final deep breath. And just get rid of that last distraction, that last twitch in your leg. Now that you're grounded, let's open. So I want you to picture London Bridge. It's the fairy tale Walt Disney image of London Bridge that you're standing at, not the dirty, filthy one that's a reality. And I want you to walk across London Bridge. Look up, it's the middle of the night. The stars are twinkling above you. Look over the side into the Thames River as it flows under you. It looks so crystal clear, you could almost jump in and go for a swim. As you get to the end of London Bridge, in front of you is a massive building. It's a few miles away from where you actually are, but this is spirit. You're at the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral. Walk up the steps. The doors are already open for you. Just walk in. Walk into the center. And you've got the massive dome above you. And to the side, there's a small little door. Walk in. A very, very narrow set of steps as you walk up them. And as you get to the top, just beneath the dome, there is a circular corridor. You're going to walk around it. And as you walk around it, look up at the dome. And you know those kaleidoscopes that you look at as children? As you walk around, the dome itself is beginning to unfold and follow you. And it's opening up to the stars. And as you do a full 360 degrees, coming back to where you started, the dome itself has disappeared. And you're just looking up into the spiritual realm of stars and magic. And light comes shining down. And you are now open. So when you're ready, open your eyes. Now, relax again. Close your eyes. Now we're going to start at St. Paul's Cathedral again. Go to the front door. Remember to close the door behind you because it's night. Walk down the steps. And just walk back towards London Bridge. And on the left, there's this big, massive building. It's called the Palace of Westminster. And just walk up to the front door and walk in. And all around you are old gentlemen. They're all gentlemen. There's no ladies here because you've gone back in time. You couldn't tolerate having a lady MP, members of Parliament. all these gentry are waiting to talk to you. They're having a debate about spiritualism in Parliament. They all walk into the Houses of Commons. That's where you get elected. And they're having a debate. Two parties, one on either side. Should we recognise spiritualism? What is spiritualism? And everybody's got an opinion. And as a spiritualist, they've invited you to give your opinion. Also, they invite you to, as a special witness, to walk down the middle. And they allow you to start talking and start explaining everything so that everybody understands it. Doesn't really matter too much what you're talking about. Just keep talking. Exhaust yourself telling them everything and how they're all wrong and how they're all right. Finally, the debate comes to an end. They have a vote. And they've decided something about spiritualism. Can't remember what they've decided. It really doesn't matter. The speaker, in all his robes and his finery, like a judge really, comes down off his massive chair, walks up to you and says, "Do come with me." And he takes you to his flat, which is in the palace, very exclusive. Takes you in, takes his robes off, and he sits down and he rings his bell, and one of the servants brings in high tea and biscuits. And you're sitting there with one of the finest gentlemen in the country, talking about insignificant little issues of this and that. And he tells you about how it's very difficult to keep control of all these terrible MPs and how they've all got to talk and everybody doesn't recognise everybody else. And you say, yes, where I come from in the future, 200 years from now, it's just as bad. And finally, you finish your tea and your biscuits. And he says, well, since you're here, there's somebody I'd like to introduce you to. And you think, oh, is it going to be the Queen or the Prime Minister? And you ask him and he says, oh, don't be silly. And there's a door at the end of his living room and you walk over together to it. He opens the door, you walk in and you find yourself going to your safe room. It's a room from your memory, childhood, maybe a room that you've got just now, maybe a fantasy room that you've invented in your mind. Have a look round. Everything is exactly in its place. Everything looks exactly as it should. You're in your own safe room. Except in the center of this room, there are two chairs. One has your loved one in it, who's waiting for you. The other one is an empty chair waiting for you. So walk over, your loved one gets up, embrace in any way that's appropriate. Sit down together. This is your time. I'm going to leave you for the next 2 to 4 minutes. This is time for yourself. Don't come back for a message for somebody else because this is your time. So as I said, I will come back in a few minutes. Enjoy. Okay, so listen to my voice again. It's time to make your farewell with your loved one. They know it's your time to come back. Stand up together. Walk to the door of your safe room. Your loved one falls in behind you, or your loved one's left you. Don't look back. Walk through the door. The speaker's gone, but his butler is waiting for you. He escorts you back to the main hall in the Houses of Commons. Oh, stand aside. Her Majesty the Queen has arrived. She's being escorted past you. She walks into the Houses of Commons. And then she turns around and slaps the guard that was escorting her in, asking him why he's taking her into the Houses of Commons. She only goes into the Houses of Lords. And all the lords and all their finery, much more spectacular than those riffraff that are in the Houses of Commons. They all come out into the main corridor. They form a guard of honour around her. There's men in knights, knights of silver armour, swords, pikes. And they all stand up and escort Her Majesty in. She takes possession of the throne, starts screaming at the mess the country's in. This isn't Queen Elizabeth II of England, this is Queen Elizabeth I of England, so we've gone back to the Tudor days. Remember, we did go back in time. And you quietly decide you really don't want to be here for all this noise. You get the butler to escort you to the front door. You walk out. And you walk back towards St. Paul's, up the steps, walk in, and find a nice chair, one of the pews to sit in the cathedral, and get very comfortable. And that chair transforms itself back into the chair that you left behind. And when you're ready, open up your eyes, now that you've come back to where you started. So picture yourself again outside the Palaces of Westminster. Walk outside, close the door behind you, walk forward, very quickly wave goodbye to St. Paul's. And as you sit there, you can see the dome. It's slowly materializing back into place. And then walk across London Bridge. And as you get to the end of London Bridge, just know that you are now safely closed. So dear Father, Mother, Spirit, thank you very, very much for all the wonderful messages we've had tonight, maybe -1. Thank you for the energy that we used to deal with that situation. Please take all the energy that we've got left. If anyone knows anyone that needs some healing, say their name out loud or in your head now. Send some of that energy to that person. And whatever's left, just channel into one big bright ball. And Father, Mother, Spirit, find one person in the world that needs that energy and please channel it all to them. Even if they don't know they're getting it, let them use it wisely. Thank you. Amen.